What's going on, Ding? We're back. The dog days of summer, but it keeps on going on. We're here, Power Slap, Road to the Title, Season 3 keeps on moving through. We're already like a quarter of the way through. Can you believe it?
Dude, time is just flying, man. Your background changes every time we do a show. What's going on?
Out in LA right now, down here for another business conference. Just threw in literally about 20 minutes ago. Got to the hotel, rushed here. I was worried that I was going to be late, but LA traffic was on my side here today. Definitely, here for that. Going to check out some card stores. I hear the scene out here in Cali is phenomenal when it comes to sports cards. So looking forward to that, and of course, I wouldn't miss the episode coming tomorrow on Rumble. Real excited as these fights keep on rolling out. Things seem to keep on getting better and better, man. I mean, the lightweight tournament round 1 has finished up so far. Things are looking good, and it's looking like Robert Trujillo is going to have some competition come, a future Power Slap event. And when they decide to make a title, there's going to be some guys in line. So pretty excited about everything there. How about you? How are things on your side?
Yeah, man, it's pouring rain here over on the East Coast and, in the New York, New Jersey area. People are saying they think it's part of that hurricane that was coming through. But like you said, man, 3 weeks into the show, we haven't seen a ton of that fighting that we've seen in the promotion, in the house. So I'm excited to see what some of that is. Obviously, as time goes on further and we see less, we'll get more of that as the season goes on. So I'm pretty excited to see it.
Yeah, so I mean, we're looking at 33 fighters. We've got some fighting matches. We're presuming it's about 12 weeks long. So we're kind of predicting, we've seen 3 fights last week, 3 fights this coming week. Is that pace going to continue all the way through, or are they kind of saving those fights in the house for, a week where we only get 2 fights? Seems like it's definitely a possibility. Obviously, with 3 fights in, 30-ish minutes, kind of gives it roughly about 10 minutes per fight, give or take, 2 minutes per se to get into their backstories, probably another minute and a half, 2 minutes for the walkouts and a little bit about the coaches, and then right into the match. So we're going to see 3 fights. To definitely expect a full action-packed episode, for episode number 3 coming up tomorrow at 6 o'clock on the West Coast, 9 o'clock on the East. And as you know, always right here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Rumble, we'll be here, the Final Slap, following the episode release, approximately 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 in the East. We'll be breaking it all down. We'll be having some of the strikers from the show itself, and we are going to have some OGs joining us as well. Do you know who we got on tomorrow's show, Ding?
You put me on the spot here. We've scheduled a lot of people this week. For tomorrow, I don't think we have any confirmations, but I heard there might be a coach somewhere around the way.
Yeah, you never know, my man. But today we've got some incredible guests, so let's get into it. We got some OGs in the game. Azael, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. How are you guys?
Absolutely, man. You know what? I like this look on you because sometimes when we've interviewed you, your Wi-Fi's been spotty, your camera's been spotty. Now we've got you back in the homeland of the USA. You're looking good. You got the smile on, man. How's life treating you?
Life's good, man. I'm glad that you said that because I was so close to going into my car just because I didn't reserve a room. And I was like, man, if I go into my car, I know everything's going to be laggy. So let me just steal one of the rooms that are right here available to me. So I'm glad to hear that my connection is good, man.
Yeah, you look great, brother. You look great.
Thank you, bro.
Absolutely, man. OG all the way back to season 1 of Road to the Title. You kind of stole the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, and I think you've been able to correct that in tenfold ever since. But watching Road to the Title season 3, the first 2 episodes that you've seen, does it bring you back good memories?
Oh yeah, man. Fucking, especially all the rowdiness that they've been showing. I mean, they haven't shown much, but just the previews that they've shown of what to expect in the season definitely brought back a lot of memories of what season 1 was like, and it just goes to show that there's a lot of characters in the house and a lot of people that want to be here, and doesn't necessarily mean that they're just talking shit just to talk. Most of these guys, I could definitely tell that they have heart, and they're just talking their shit because they're here for a reason.
100%. Let's talk about some of the differences from season 1 until now. Obviously, you guys knew very, very little. I remember back to the day of old that, literally was, a Facebook post. A lot of guys didn't even know. They thought they were being punked literally until the time they got to Vegas. They didn't know if the UFC was involved. They didn't know if Dana was involved. Now guys have 15 plus months of this. They've seen the established season 1. They've seen season 2. They've seen 8 live events. They know what they're getting into. Let's talk about the difference of the fighters then coming into Road to the Title season 1 to the fighters now coming into Road to the Title season 3.
Yeah, man. So from season 1, I think it was just a kind of like a diverse group. You had people that had a diverse resume under them. There, you had MMA fighters, you had boxers, you had just different kinds of power slap or individuals trying to join power slap. But in this case, in this new season, how it has evolved, I just feel like they kind of, I don't know, just seeing how all these people are performing, seeing how they're not just performing with their slaps, but with their entertainment aspect of it. It's just Power Slap is doing a great job of getting new guys that are good for the sport. So it continues to be diverse. I feel like they're still getting people from diverse backgrounds in combat sports or different sports in general. So that's good to always see. Just not to just focus on people that have focused on fighting all their lives, but also have other aspects in their life and just want to show that they're still able to smack a dude and be able to take one back. So it's great
Absolutely.
to see. It's great to see for sure.
I mean, we're definitely seeing a difference in the way that they're recruiting. And I got to ask you a bit of a personal question on my side. Will we ever see someone as polarizing as Slap Jesus in Power Slap again?
I don't think so, man. I do not think so. Unless Slap Jesus comes back.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed on him. So, but let's talk about it because there was a diverse range of athletes. There was even like age range from 21 all the way up to Devin Schwann, I believe, was 40 or 41 at the time. You had guys from across the country, diverse backgrounds. Some had MMA experience, some had bare knuckle experience, some didn't have any at all. Are you seeing any differences and changes now with the cast that we have at front and kind of how things have evolved?
I mean, we definitely see a lot of younger cats in the game, a lot younger guys. So I definitely see that in this new season, which is great. Some of these young guys want to come in and want to take over, which is always welcome. But some of the older guys just that'll be their opportunity to kind of show that they shouldn't be counted out just because of their age. So I think that's a good thing for the sport and for some of the guys that are a little bit older.
Totally. Dang, join in whenever you want, my man.
El Perro, my brother. Obviously, it's been a while since we spoke to you after that performance you had against AJ, which obviously was incredible, but also not incredible in the way that it ended. A question that I've had, and I think we've talked about this on this program a little bit. You get the disqualification loss, but you stay at number 1 in the middleweight division. We've seen that in other divisions, right, where Danny Pitbull Van Heerden gets the title shot off of a disqualification. What do you think that says about how much the promotion values not only you as an athlete and personality, but of course how much weight I guess they give to the fact that even though your opponent technically got the win, the benefit in perpetuity kind of lends in your favor? What do you think that says about how they feel about you and guys like Danny Van Heerden?
Man, well, I mean, obviously when I got disqualified, it was heartbreaking, man. I hadn't felt that emotional for a while. I didn't really show it in the cameras, but afterwards, man, it hit me, man. But after seeing that the rank stayed the same, and even for Danny, it just shows that I mean, not to say that going out there and getting a fucking knockout just as don't just go out there and get a knockout and not expect to get disqualified. Like I don't want to say that because I clubbed them. I lost my train of thought. I'm still in work mode, so I'm like,
Nah, that's okay,
buddy.
brother.
It just says that when I saw that the rankings didn't change, it just kind of still brought kept that confidence and that appreciation to Power Slap, because they know why I'm number one for a reason. They know why I'm the top of the division for a reason. I've been in the top of the division for a reason, and a disqualification loss um, wasn't enough to kind of put me down on the ranking. So it was great to see that Power Slap sees that even though I clubbed, I still deserve to be in the top of the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, you've been at number one for quite some time. So on the subject of that, obviously at Power Slap 8, we saw quite a few things happen in your division. Obviously, again, with Isaiah beating Wesley. We also saw the Battle of the Brendans, which, obviously came out a little bit later. So there were some movements in the rankings. For you, as a guy who's faced John Davis twice, obviously both of those fights very, very different. And now, again, because of your performances, people are talking about Isaiah versus John Davis 3. What do you think makes sense at this point in the landscape of the middleweight division most as we look to the future here and what could be Power Slap 9 coming in the next, 2 to 3 months?
I'm always going to be a big advocate for John Davis Asael 3. But once Isaiah got that win, man, Azael would definitely make sense to see who gets John Davis next. But since John Davis has been inactive, um, that just tells it makes sense for John Davis to be next, having a match in the next upcoming event, whenever that is. So it could be either John Davis Asael, or it could be John Davis Isaiah. That would obviously make sense either or. I wouldn't be upset if it was Isaiah who would take it, just because of how dominantly he has won his last few matches. But also it would also make sense to be Isaiah versus Asael. Just that would be a spectacular performance to see who is deserving of the champion. And I mean, Bordeaux is up there too, so I think Bordeaux shouldn't be left out of the conversation. I think if any of those matches should be done, the other one. So say me and John Davis go at it, Isaiah Bordeaux, or if Isaiah goes up against John Davis, Asael Bordeaux should be up next. So I don't know. There's like a mix and match right now that could go on in the top of the division.
Yeah, man. And on the subject of me talking about kind of how your first and second match went differently, that speaks to your own evolution. So in that, I think that gives you kind of, I guess, credibility and equity in the sense that you could be a valuable coach. We haven't seen that side of you yet. But what are your thoughts and kind of your interest on maybe potentially being a coach, not only for a numbered event in the future, but maybe a road to the title season 4 or 5?
Oh man, being a coach has been one of my top goals in the sport. I think just because of the way that I started in the sport, I feel like I kind of didn't give the image that I have enough under me to be able to provide those type of skills to other fighters. But I've shown it. I've grown, like you said. Like even if I didn't show it, if I hadn't drank in the show, I think you guys would have been able to see it from the beginning. But I just had to continue showing up and showing out, and I will continue to do so. And I think if I'm ever a coach for any of the seasons, or even at any of the events, I think it would be an honor for me to be able to do that. I think I'd be able to provide a lot of knowledge to the fighters, especially fighters that might not have a lot of experience under them in the slap game. I feel like I would be a great coach in that aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, my final one for me. We're gonna get our first glimpse, of the new middleweights from this season of the show coming here tomorrow night. So can't really talk about what we know about them because at this point we don't know anything. But for you, for these guys who have only had 2 fights at max in a course of 2 weeks or so, and they're coming and they're gonna debut on these numbered cards, in front of big crowds and bright lights from all intents and purposes from what we've seen. What would your, I guess, advice be? Just kind of if you had 20 seconds, 30 seconds to talk to one of these guys before they go up there and they perform under the bright lights, what would you tell a guy how to make that transition from the show where they've only fought twice, like I said, at max, maybe only once, and now they're coming back and they're going to debut on a numbered card. What would your advice be to them?
My advice would probably just be ignore the crowd, ignore your surroundings, just focus, kind of like blank out and just focus on your opponent. Keep staring at your opponent. That if that helps to be able to tune out everyone else, because I mean, obviously, can potentially affect you by getting you distracted, by seeing all the crowd and seeing all who they're cheering for and all that stuff. Just try your best to tune it out so you don't have to worry about that, because there may be some guys that may be affected by that if they're not getting cheered from the crowd as much as the other person's getting cheered on. Tune that shit out. Like don't worry about that and just go there and eat your opponent's slap. I think my best advice is just know that you're going to eat your opponent's slap no matter what.
Awesome, my man. I mean, since last time we talked to you, we had the great middleweight debate even, Power Slap 8. There's been a lot of intriguing storylines. You kind of talked a little bit earlier too about some of the new entries into the division. There's definitely a lot of matchups that could take place, even, but what do you believe is the next step? What do you want? Do you realistically right now believe John Davis is the match for you, or is there somebody else in your crosshairs that you think you'd like to match up against to prove that you're deserving of that third trilogy fight that we haven't seen yet across any division?
So I've said it before. John and I had faced each other right after Road to the Title. 6 months, he knocked me out. 6 months later, we went at it 5 rounds, and I feel like I did a little bit more damage than what he did to me. So now, being from October to whenever the next event, could be almost a year. Just imagine that evolution. If I had evolved for 6 months and nothing stopped, like everything, I'm continuing my work. Mm-hmm. So a year from October match, there's no way that I'm getting knocked out. There's no way that I'm not winning that match. So to me, it makes sense to be able to go up against John Davis now. But like I said, Isaiah is up there now. So I would love to go up against Isaiah just because of what he's done. Mm-hmm. For me personally now, it's like being able to continue to show that I'm able to take someone like Isaiah's hit and I'm able to knock out someone like Isaiah. That would also be something that would make sense to me personally. So Isaiah is definitely up there when it comes to who's next for me. If it's not John Davis, Isaiah for sure. Isaiah is like up there in my radar right now, just because of that, because of what he did to Wes. Like before it was Wes, Wesley was the one that was my to go as well. But now it's Isaiah. I want the best of the best in the division, and right now it's John and Isaiah. So those are the two that I believe I should be facing next.
Gotcha, my man. I mean, I don't think we've got your opinion on it, but what do you think of these light heavyweights coming down the middle? We've got Isaiah, we got Static. There's been talk of Vern Cathy potentially one day doing it. Do you want those guys to stay up there, or are you welcoming them to come down?
No, I welcome them all down, man. I think it's great for them to be able to. I think a lot of the light heavyweights should be at middleweight. A lot of middleweights should be at welterweight and so on. So I think as people continue to explore different weight classes, they're going to realize that their strong suit is going to be maybe a lower weight class, not just because they can't handle their own weight, but just they're going to look better too. Like they're not going to be walking around fat or whatever. Same thing with me. I think my strong suit right now is obviously the middleweight, but eventually I want to go down to the welterweight and just look fit and look at the 6-pack and not just like I look right now, but not to the level that I want to be. But I think it's great, man, especially having light heavyweights coming down and just being able to take on those guys. If it's Vern, if it's Static, if it's anyone, Turpin, and just being able to knock them down, man. Like I think that's gonna be it's gonna provide a lot under our resume to be able to take on those challenges.
Absolutely. I hear you, man. I guess it's probably been 14, 15 months since the first time I interviewed you. And I remember in that interview, you actually talked about wanting to go after a boxing career. Is that still in the cards? Are you still training to be an amateur boxer?
I'm still training, just not in the competitive level, just more on just keeping my body strong. If something opens up and Power Slap allows it to happen, for me to get a match or whatever, for sure. But I think for me to be able to box in a competitive level, I would have to be like fighting at like 160s, 155. So that's where me going down to welterweight will come in during those times. So right now, I don't think I would be comfortable enough to be able to fight at 80s. I think the guys there are pretty fucking strong when it comes to boxing. So not my. I wouldn't be comfortable in this weight.
Gotcha. So maybe something after you're done with Power Slap.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't see myself being done with Power Slap anytime soon. So
yeah, I mean, talk to me, man. I know you went to Mexico. We've seen some, your stories. What was that all about? They had some sort of fight competition going on. Was it during an MMA event or was it a solo slap fight? And how'd you get involved?
Yeah, so Victor, he is a Mexican commentator from the UFC. He reached out to me saying that he was gonna start his own slap organization over there, kind of like a minor league, to be able to kind of transition Mexican fighters to potentially come to Power Slap and maybe get one or two guys to be known so they could come into Power Slap. So he invited me to their first event, their opening event, and it was during one of their big MMA events. It's called MMA Mexico, MMA Mexico, and they did the event right after the MMA matches. So it was crazy. They just like set up they took off the cage and all the fences, and they set up the table. It was kind of similar to Power Slap, and it was cool because right before the matches, the night before, I talked to the commission over there and the referees. So they were kind of like just all ears on me, and I was like, I was taken by surprise that they were gonna just put me down there in center with all the commissions, and what they wanted from me is just kind of like explain to them what rules they should follow to be able to continue to be as safe as they can be, what to look for if someone's fouling. They had so many questions, and it was awesome because everyone was super excited to hear everything that had to do with slapping, and the themselves were pretty good. I think the best ones were there were some heavyweights, but they could definitely get some work done because there was a lot of fouling. It was
awesome,
great,
man. I appreciate you joining me, my man. Ding, any last parting words?
No, man, always great to see you. Can't wait to see you back up there, as I said earlier, and get you back in that win column, brother. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for inviting me, and hope to see you guys soon, man. Or men.
Awesome, buddy. Much love, man. See you soon. All right, there we go. Azael Rodriguez, obviously one of the original OG polarizing figures from Road to the Title Season 1. Great to talk to him about what he thinks about the recruiting process, the evolution, and really, like, we haven't talked to him in a while, so it was actually great to hear. I actually remember being at the UFC press conference when Victor came over to us and talked about this whole concept. So crazy that he was actually able to pull it off. Very little English that he spoke, but really cool, unique. And maybe one day we'll see one or two of those guys eventually make themselves as kind of a feeder system into Power Slap. So,
what's particularly interesting, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what's particularly interesting is when you look at combat sports in total, especially boxing, obviously Mexican heritage is pretty kind of engulfed in that kind of scene, and a lot of its roots. Slap fighting seems to be more like an Eastern European thing. So it'll be interesting to see as that side of the world kind of gets, I say that side of the world, I mean, it's this side of the world realistically, but you know what I mean? I mean, that sector of the world.
It's just a wall apart, buddy. Come on.
A partial wall, bro, not a full wall. Okay.
Well, wait, if Donald Trump gets elected in 24, we will have a full wall. We're getting off track, aren't we?
You're done, bro. You're in America for a day and you're already acting crazy. Cut it out.
Yeah. I'm even in a Democratic state. Come on.
Dude, if you don't bring the next guest on, he's gonna kill you.
All right, man. Let's bring him in.
Whoa! Who is that?
It's
Is
It's
that purple belt crazy
like a
Hawaiian?
Sasquatch. You can't. You think you see him, and then he's not there.
Awesome, buddy. I mean, dude, you're too big for an upright camera. Can we turn you sideways so we can see more than just your head?
We can do this.
There we
Oh,
go.
dude,
That's what we
what a
needed to
way.
see.
What a way to get that done, Corey. That was impressive. Bravo, chat. Can I get some W's in the chat for the way Corey just got that done?
Chat for the boys. There you go.
Yeah, that belt's looking mighty fine behind you, my man. How good's it feeling right now to be sitting on top of the throne?
I mean, I knew it. You know, a lot of people didn't believe, but I'll make them a believer. So here I am, guys. You know, on top of the biggest sport, probably in history, to start out and out the gate, we hit the whole shot for probably one of the biggest starts of any sports. So
Absolutely.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I'm in Cali right now. I know you were out here for a couple weeks. What were you doing out on the coast?
Oh, you know, I was helping my buddy Drew open up his shop there in Hermosa Beach. Anybody need
Nice.
believe in men care? You know, growing up, no one taught us men how to take care of ourselves, and we all see this women doing it. It's not about you know, being what are women feminists or anything like that, but it's literally about taking care of yourself. You know what I mean? And women deserve that from us. So, you know, I stand by this brand, and my boy Drew. He's doing what's right for us men, trying to do some men care. You know what I mean?
All right, I do got to stop you because I know Corey's favorite part of this spiel is about the testicles. Can you tell us what you guys have for the testicles, please?
Yes, we have Ballgasmic ball wash, which is amazing. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to put the normal stuff on your balls. It's kind of like a pH level type of thing. It goes deeper in it. We got doctors on it making this thing, and we also have Happy Sack Nut Love, which is a cooling cream. It replaces anybody that uses, like, if you gotta use powder, you know, in that places where it's very humid. In the mid area, you know what I mean, the ball section, you know, you want to use this product. I'm 400 pounds, and you can ask my wife, she loves it how it smells down there, so on a daily. so
We will not be asking your wife on this platform, brother. We'll take your word for it, but thank you, bro.
That's awesome, man. Mr. Larry Wheels, dude, you took the internet by storm. You broke the internet from all accounts. How'd it come about?
I was in my Airbnb in Vegas still. We're still like celebrating, you know, the whole thing, the whole win and everything, and my phone was going crazy. So I took, I think, a day. I just put my phone down and I just started enjoying the people around me, you know, enjoying Jesus Christ, I almost got killed by this, bro. I was just enjoying everything, and then I seen this, picked up my phone, and the first thing I seen was Larry Wills, right? Hold on, let me twist this around. And I messaged him back. He said, hey, are you still in town? I said, well, I'm about to leave. And I was asking, is this really you? You know? And he's like, yeah, it's really me. Let me pay for your travels and come out here to Cali. And he didn't really tell me what it was about. He was just like, I want to know if I would want to do this. So I was thinking I was going to go over there, you know, teach him some lessons, which I did. And the whole thing about him slapping me first came about, and then we talked about it for a second, and I was already suspended. So, you know, what better way to introduce him to the sport? And I let him hit me first. And I would say, honestly, when watching it back, I didn't realize it, but I kind of flinched, and it caused so much controversy. Just And that's what really broke the internet was a professional power slap striker flinching to a bodybuilder, and
And
that took
champion. I'd like to
and
add.
champion. Um, and it was good fun, man. I love the experience. John Dotson just hit me up, and who knows who I might be training.
Corey doesn't know who that is, but that is not a good idea. That dude is like 4'11", bro. Do not do that, please.
No,
bro.
for training.
Oh, okay. Whew. Oh Lord.
For training.
That's funny.
He's like a 135 pounder, Corey. It would not go well. I can tell you that.
Well, it's not really for him, but I've been hit up by a bunch of people about training, about coaching. I'm opening up my own gym here soon. I got an investor for that, so I'm breaking down walls and barriers, setting a tone for everyone else that's coming in. I'm not putting myself next to anyone else in the sport. I really put myself above everyone, above and beyond. I'm breaking barriers. I don't know if you guys seen. I know the crypto is going down, but I am popping out my own crypto coin. So we're doing crazy stuff over here. The crazy line is not just crazy on the stage.
Yeah, my man. I mean, you touched on a lot there. So the last episode, we seen your coaching debut on Road to the Title Season 3. We seen you putting the guys through a lot of unorthodox training styles. And one thing that blew our mind, I'm not sure if you've seen the episode last week on the final slap, but we talked about the competitors being able to touch and to feel and to line up their opponent before actually facing them. Like, how crazy is that?
You don't get that. You don't get that in any other sport. So I decided to put that in my training regimen because it was an opportunity, because they have a special opportunity, and it's not like a face-off, because a face-off there was cameras there, but the whole thing, I was trying to get these guys to talk shit. I was trying to get these guys to really hone in on their competitive nature. And you don't know what it is until you're up there on the stage. Yeah. So I wanted to give all of the competitors, every one of them that was facing each other in their next bout, to line up with their opponent. Yeah. So you can, mentally get that picture.
100%. I mean, did you feel like a giant? Because you pretty well were 3 of those men combined in weight.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to have a super heavyweight, real deal super heavyweight. Because let's just say my weight division is lacking a little bit. But I feel like I always kind of feel big around people, but that especially, I had my brother with me, so I didn't feel like the only big guy there. But we got some bangers coming up. People need to be watching this Road to the Title, because this is how we're going to sport, and it's an amazing thing that they're doing.
Yeah, I don't want you to give anything away, but was there anybody from that 155 that you coached that you thought might have it? Like, was there one person that stood out to you?
That's tough, because I had intimate moments with most of everyone there.
Was it intimate with your balls and them?
I wanted to see what kind of balls they got, to be honest. Show me your balls, bro. No, just kidding. No, it was well, it was really about that. You know what I mean? Show me what you got, who you are. I got to talk to each and every one of them and gain a relationship with these guys, not just, coach them through motions. I wanted to see what they're fighting for, where they're from. I pointed at each and every one of them to tell me where you're from, and I tell them, say it with your chest, like you mean it, because you're coming out and you're not just representing yourself, you're representing where you're from. People figure out where you're from, and then boom, you got instant fans, whether you win, lose, or draw. They just want to jump on that bandwagon if they're from where you're from. So it's hard to Who?
Oh, Hawaiian, I lost you.
Oh, you good? Hello.
There you go. It's hard to.
It's hard. It's hard to say who really stands out because, um, I can't say who win or lost, but the ones that I did have high hopes for got knocked out. So uh, I can't say their names, but I
Okay.
hope most of them come back. I hope Dana does what he did. What last road to the title, he just signed everyone. You know what I mean? Or they're all on the roster or whatever it may be. But yeah, I can't wait till the next episode tomorrow.
Absolutely, my man. Um, what do you want next? I mean, there was a couple super heavyweight fights on Power Slap 8. Obviously, you retained your title. You talked potentially about there being a bit of a, lapse in talent, but I mean, we got guys like Dwayne Crespo who beat your brother. Dumpling took care of the polar bear. Is there someone who stands out to you? Someone you want next?
Man, I'm tired of hearing Dwayne's name because I honestly feel like he won't be able to even step close to this belt. And I would put money on it, to be honest. I mean, he's a great coach for other people, for some people. I just don't agree with his style and his coaching methods and all that. So obviously there's going to be a conflict. He beat my brother, which I'm pissed about. We can call it draw at best. You know what I mean? Other fights that was called a draw was more one sided than it was a draw. And I don't know. I feel like the officials or judges and everybody have to use the technology better to find out who's actually fouling and who's actually following the rules. So I'm ready for anybody. I'm ready for anybody in my weight division, to be honest. Dumpling, I'm ready for him. It doesn't matter who comes in. There is nobody. I really believe there's nobody that's going to beat me. Um, with my whole chin and everything, I have so much more to it than just taking a slap. And I proved myself by taking every one of Danny's slaps, every 6 of them too.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about Dumpling going all the way up to the number one contender? Is that Power Slap showing their hand, or
Obviously,
is it just
man.
him giving credence to what he's done in the past?
I mean, we gotta also look at, like, yeah, he hasn't been in Power Slap for long, but if you follow slapping in itself, you know that this guy is what I am here in the US. He is that and more in Russia.
Yeah.
So we have to let people know that it's not just a guy that did this viral knockout on somebody that's let's just face it, with a losing record. We gotta pay him respect. That's what I feel. He's the reason why I started doing this. He's one of the first persons that I saw on YouTube, just smashing people's heads, blowing up watermelons. He was my inspiration for doing it. In fact, my reason was I wanted to be the bully's bully, because I was watching him go up against guys that were 150 pounds, and he's obviously 3+. And I was like, man, I want to bully the bully. So in a sense, when I do get to face the Dumpling, it'll be my Super Bowl in my slapping career.
100%. One last one from me. Where do you think Makini Manu lies in this whole thing? Do you think he's kind of the forgotten one, or do you think he gets a shot?
Honestly, I think he needs to be on the next show. They're sleeping on him, and I just don't like the way that it went down with, obviously I'll accept any opponent that comes my way, but I just don't understand why the actual winner of the road to the title, did not get a shot at the title. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the way he won, or I don't know. I feel for the guy. He has a family. He brings so much to the table in a competitive nature, in just the presence that he brings. Second, I'm getting a call. In the presence that he brings, I think he's being slept on, and I side with him in his frustration on not getting a match, or however it's being treated. Um, I feel for the dude.
Hmm. I hear it for you. Ding.
Yeah, brother. So, without getting into any details about any of this stuff, we talked about it on our show a few weeks ago. I want to go back to Power Stop 8 for a second and the lead up to it. When you talk about kind of, I guess, your preparation for that event, it being probably the biggest moment of your career, you battled quite a bit of adversity leading into that fight. And to be honest with you, with the level of adversity that it was, I almost felt like nobody could blame you for having a tough night. You go out there and you probably have one of the best performances you've ever had. How did you do it? What do you attribute that to?
I I before when I walked out there, I had fear, uh, like any human should, facing a tough opponent like that. Before I went up on the stage and I opened up my arms, I truly, whatever might have happened that night, if we go back in time, whatever was going to happen that night, it was not my plan. It was all God's plan. And I pretty much gave it to him. I had a rough training camp. I basically, again, came off the couch, having to go back to work, having to fight, other things personally. Uh, but I did, for the first time ever, come into that fight uninjured. I mean, I didn't. I was not. My hand was good. My body was good. Everything felt right because I didn't push myself in training camp. Um, this, on the other hand, this training camp for whoever's coming up next, they got some that I'm about to blow their heads off their shoulders. To be honest, there ain't nobody gonna touch me. I'm gonna go down as the greatest that ever did this. The man that broke down barriers for everybody, not just myself. So, um, going into that last match, I'm proud of myself. I really am. You guys know what I went through. I know what I went through. It's not publicly announced of what I went through, but a lot of people know. A lot of people know that I am putting myself out there, letting myself get, throwing myself in the gauntlet, and trying to see what works for all of us and not just me. What may the future of this sport look like for the normal person, not just to jump in, compete, and then leave. I want it to be a lasting thing, not just for me, for everyone else that is winning in the sport. Um, you know, I'm here, man. I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm doing this to see where the sport can go and where it will go. Um, you know, I'm willing to put my head out there and fail and have people screw me over, and kind of let everyone know not which way not to go. So I'm taking it upon myself, as a true pioneer for the sport, to do things that no one else would even fathom doing, would even think about doing. I'll do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, being there live, and I know Corey can share in this. Seeing the energy and the way things changed, and just the tension in seeing your performance again. We kind of knew beforehand, like you really went through hell for all intents and purposes on your way to that fight against a guy that everybody felt like was the real deal, and I still believe he is the real deal. I just think you showed on that night that you're just levels above. That there's levels to this, right? And so, what do you think we do with a guy like Danny Van Heerden now that he had a night like that after everybody believed in him?
What was your question about it? Say that last question again.
No, I said, what do you think we do with Danny Van Heerden now that he had the night that he did?
I mean, he put he's the first one to come after this belt. He deserves a rematch in the future. He knows now what he's facing, And I don't know if he just maybe took it lightly or what it was, but I'm in this because I truly believe, even if I come off the couch without training at all, I truly believe that I'm built for this and I'm made for the sport. So that's hard to beat. It's hard to beat somebody that really truly not only believes in himself, but believes that I just believe I'm going to be the greatest that ever did it. There's some guys like the Wolverine. There's some guys like the Bell. Those are all those guys. I had to pay respects to, but they're not in my weight class. I might be coming down to theirs to show them, because I truly believe that my time here is just beginning. So I got plenty of things in store, um, but for Danny, I wish him all the best. He took it like a champ. He took it like a champ. You see, he never stopped posting. Even of him getting dropped, he posted it himself, tagged me in it. That's a sign of a real, a true warrior, a true future champ should act. I mean, I would act the same way. So he's good for the sport. He's helped me promote this fight, and we sold out, and it was such a fitting end to a great night of slaps.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, man. And speaking of Road to the Title season three, obviously we see this, the building of the lightweight division, but one division that wasn't included in this show was the super heavyweights. Why do you think that is? Do you think that it's just that the talent is there already, and they kind of want to hone in on that, on the talent that they already have, or that you guys currently have in the super heavyweight division, or do you feel like maybe they wanted to shift the focus and there was one division that they couldn't fit? Like, why do you think they left the super heavyweights off?
Because when they get the super heavyweights in the show, you know who's going to be a coach for them, and it's going to be one of the biggest road to the titles shows ever. Obviously, I'm going to be one of them coaches in the future when we can settle on a good number, uh, moolah wise. So let's just you know let the super heavyweights kind of gain more muscle at home and more fitness. Let them believe that they can do it, because that's ultimately what we need is more in my division for sure. Um, it's going to be a great road to the title for when the super heavyweights actually come about, because you saw we had a little splash of them with Uncle Micah, Danny, and those guys, and it looked like fun TV to watch. You know what I mean? It really looked like they stole the show. Um, and I feel like they're just waiting for the crazy Hawaiian to be a coach, and they're gonna just flood. Hopefully, we just only get super heavyweights in that one. Maybe not. I'm biased about my weight class, but I don't know. Super sounds good in front of anything right now. So
And then just one final one from me on the subject of the rankings. Obviously we just talked about Dwayne beats your brother officially. Whether we agree, disagree, obviously that's up for discussion. But he debuts at number 6, and Dane only goes down to number 2. What do you make of that? I mean, you beat number 1, but you don't actually go to number 1. You go to number 6, and then number 1 only drops down to number 2. So they're still way ahead of you in the rankings. And now a guy who beat, I think, number 9. I don't want anybody to kill me here. I might be wrong about what Camille was. I believe he was number 9 in the rankings. A guy beats him and goes to number 1. I know you said obviously we have to respect what Dumpling's done, but when it comes to Dane and Dwayne, uh, what do you think is going on with the rankings there, being that he beats this guy and he doesn't go even halfway to where he's at, because he was at number 1, and now Dwayne debuts at number 6.
yeah, we're puppets in this thing, man. People are pulling the strings. I don't know who it is, but it might be Uncle Dana. But yeah, people. It's so controversial how they're picking the fights, who they're picking the fights for, and people are getting upset, man. And I love it. I love it because it's like it gives us something to talk about. Obviously, they're painting a picture for maybe the next event. They're painting a picture for somebody to look at the ranks and be like, oh, obviously, maybe they just don't want people to talk crap about what the next event might look like. So I don't know. I feel like they do ranks according to who should get the next, shot to the title. But obviously, the last guy that I faced, I forgot what he was, 4-3, but uh, I think he got picked because of his character. And I preach to people, a lot of people, anyone can get knocked out or be or knock someone out with a slap. But I think your stock rises with the kind of character you are. And the dumpling, he doesn't really have a character, but he's been talked about for years. And give him a shot. I don't know if they want me to win or not, but I'm winning, for sure. For whoever comes next, I got a great team behind me now. Everything is working out. I've been having meetings every day about new, sponsorships, and I'm hoping everyone else in Power Slap kind of, has the same experience. Minus the whole hardships that I've been through, but this is such a roller coaster ride, and the ranks is crazy. Who is in charge of the ranks? We need to talk to that person.
Awesome,
I
man.
think you know, man. I think you know.
Yeah, we
It ain't
can't.
Uncle Dana. It ain't Uncle Dana.
Yeah. He's a funny guy for all the ranks. He's clowning.
Awesome, man. One last one for me. All right. If Larry Wheels was actually come over, I'm sure he'd be in the same category as you. He's probably north of 265. Where do you think he would fit? I mean, you were hit by him. Does he hit harder than some of the supers in Power Slap right now? And how do you think he'd do?
Man, honestly, I feel like he could have hit me harder. I obviously either
We did too, bro. We did too.
I really didn't feel it. I didn't feel like it was a hard enough slap to do any damage to anybody. But he also told me that he never got into a fight before. So I don't know if he spent time hitting a heavy bag or what, but he spent a lot of time lifting muscles or lifting weights. So maybe stick to bodybuilding, but I believe there is a lot of people that are bodybuilders that could potentially make a big splash, and he has a big following. So I had to jump on that call with Larry Will. I did call Frank and be like, "Hey Frank, I'm gonna go do something stupid. Is that cool?" He's like, "Just be yourself." And then I was like, "All right, man, I'm gonna take this opportunity to run with it because this is the biggest name in sports right now." And he's a big content creator too. Yeah. So that not only was a good networking trip for me, it broke the internet. I gained 15,000 followers from that one, and that was a big spike for me at least. Yeah. I do have officially I have Bradley Martin podcast to go to, so awesome. Power Slap's moving up.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I kind of call bullshit on that. There's no way Frank, who is a lawyer, is going to tell you to go and be yourself and get slapped by somebody else while you're suspended. I highly doubt that happened, but...
Well, I didn't tell him I was going to get slapped, but I told him I'll be myself. Just be yourself. Be yourself. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Oh, good, buddy. Appreciate you, man. Much love, dude. Talk soon.
Much love, guys.
See you, buddy. All right. We keep on rolling, my man. The crazy Hawaiian, good as always. Things still going on. Hey, man, I call it how it is. Come on. There's no way that Frank
that's my job. We talked about this. I call it how it is. You fluff, bro. What is going on?
What do you mean? What do you mean, buddy?
Oh, God. That was fucking amazing.
Oh, good, my man. But we keep on rolling. It's great to see. Obviously, we talked to Azael. Great to see about the middleweight division in great shape. The crazy Hawaiian talking about the super heavyweight. He thinks is void of some talent. We think there's a lot of great guys and some intriguing matchups up at the top. We'll see how that evolves. He kind of foreshadowed a lot of things. You can kind of read between the lines there if you want. Potentially seeing him as a coach on a future episode of Road to the Title, whether it's number 4 or 5, I think would be phenomenal. He was rumored to be one of the original coaches. Actually, no, I don't want to say rumored. It's confirmed by him, publicly, that he was going to be one of the original coaches with Slap for Cash on the original Road to the Title season 1. They couldn't come to terms in terms of dollar value. Seems that they can't come to terms still at this particular point, but maybe we'll see it in the future. I think it would definitely bring eyeballs and skyrocket those numbers even further up. So I think anytime we get the crazy involved, I think it's great for the sport.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to know what Chad thinks. Normally we do smack talk and we incorporate guests, of course, but normally it's just Corey and I running our mucks. And do you like it when we mix it up and bring in the OGs and like kind of talk me through what you guys think in chat about us bringing more guys on? Obviously, it takes up most of the show between Isaiah and the crazy. We got to about an hour here, so just let us know what you guys think. If you like it, if you want more of me talking about Corey and his obsession with testicles, or if you enjoy, him fucking asking the crazy Hawaiian about his balls and the lightweights.
I'll leave it at that thing. We won't go down that road, buddy. We won't go down that road.
With you glazing Brian Ellis at the fucking casino.
Me? I think it was you the other way around, buddy. Oh,
that's it. I'm inviting Brian Ellis on the show next week. It's over. We're putting this shit to bed.
Bring it on. Bring it on for sure. Maybe he'll teach you how to use a slot machine.
No, bro, he won't, because then he can't fucking hit. He won't.
I think the best thing was
a scam artist.
Brian Ellis sends every time he hits a jackpot.
He's a scam artist. He rigs the machines at the casino just like he rigged the power cube, and that's why he's the champion. I'm breaking news here today. That's it.
But maybe there's a conspiracy theory. Maybe he's going around taking pictures of others people's hands pay and claiming them to be his. That could be a possibility. I don't know who's letting
you come by and take their money, and take pictures of their money. But if so.
Awesome, my man. All right, let's wrap it up. We'll be back here tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. in Pacific, 9:30 p.m. in the East. The final slap following the release of Road to the Title, episode number 3. We're almost a quarter of the way through. We're going to have fighters from the actual card itself on, and we look forward to breaking it all down and seeing what everything has to come. And as well, later in the week, we're going to have winner interviews up on our channels as well. So make sure you're tuning in. If you made it to this point, I'm assuming you're subscribed to Slap News. But if you're not, hit that subscribe bell or the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell, because we keep on bringing you content every single week. Ding, we're out, my man.
Peace.